we ended 2024. And now we've got ESPN that has come out, and I mean, some of the names ahead of Caitlin Clark on this list, you've got to be joking. Also, let's start here because this was shocking. I noticed that the Indiana Fever had put up a post about tonight's game, right? Tonight's game.
ESPN has released a top 50 WNBA players list heading into 2026, and the placement of Caitlin Clark at number 10 has drawn significant attention and pushback. The ranking sits poorly with a large segment of the fan base, particularly given where Clark stood statistically at the close of the 2024 season, a point by which many considered her already among the top 4 players in the league. The names placed ahead of her on the list raise obvious questions. Alyssa Thomas appearing in that group is a difficult case to defend.
About tonight's game, right? Tonight's game, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham against Paige Beckers, last year's number 1 overall pick, Azzy Fudd, this year's number 1 overall pick. And I thought, wait a minute, they're posting a link to buy tickets for a game tonight? And I was like, maybe there's just a few tickets left. I pulled this up.
There is a strong argument that Thomas is among the more overrated players in the league, and placing her above the likes of Nneka Ogwumike or Brianna Stewart stretches credibility. Jackie Young at number 5 and Kelsey Gray at number 7 represent similar head-scratching decisions. A reasonable ranking that accounts for Clark's injury-shortened 2025 season would still place her around 4th overall behind Aja Wilson at 1, Nneka Ogwumike or Brianna Stewart at 2, and rounding out that tier before Sabrina Ionescu at 5. Clark's actual track record makes the number 10 slot look especially disconnected from reality.
I was like, maybe there's just a few tickets left. I pulled this up, and my jaw dropped. I was like, are you kidding me? I did not expect to see this, folks. I wasn't going to include this in my video. And guys, let me just pull this over and then pull this over. You're not going to be able to see all my face for a minute. $14 and $15 tickets. A lot of $15 tickets here. And I saw
she earned the 4th highest MVP vote total as a rookie, broke the single-season assists record, and posted the 2nd most three-point field goals made in a season. Her passing and long-range shooting were among the best in the league from the moment she arrived. In 2025, despite being limited to just 13 games due to injury, she was still named an All-Star and ranked near the top of the league in assists per game, placing her behind 9 other players. Given that body of work reflects poorly on the credibility of the list.
All that was like, wow. And by the way, and let me just get this where you can, okay, where I'm back in the picture. Okay, now that I got this back up, I got to looking. There's a significant number of tickets. 91 tickets, 100 plus tickets, 90 tickets, 87 tickets, 100 plus tickets, 32 tickets down here. These are good seats. 34 tickets.
Further down the rankings, Aaliyah Boston appears at 14, while Angel Reese sits at 22. Several players placed in the 30S and 40S, including Kalia Copper at 12 and Jonquel Jones lower than expected, represent additional points of contention. Brittany Griner appearing on the list at all generated its own reaction. Sophie Cunningham is absent from the list entirely, which many would dispute given her contributions.
41 tickets? I mean, there's a lot of factors here. I understand people are worried about how much things cost right now, this, that, and the third. But there are a ton of tickets for this game left that's got a ton of star power. And I saw how many tickets are left, and I went, are people ever going to believe me that there are fans that are not happy right now? There are fans that...
Separately, Indiana Fever ticket availability for a preseason game featuring Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Sophie Cunningham against Paige Buchers, Aislinn Levi, and the number 1 overall pick from the current draft drew notice. Prices dropped to the $14, $15 range, with large blocks of unsold seats across multiple sections. 91 tickets here, 100, plus there, 87 inches another section. For a game with that level of star power, the volume of available seats is a signal worth examining.
There are fans that are not happy with what is going on involving this coaching staff, involving this team, how they handled Caitlin Clark's injury last year, all of it. And they are telling you in front of your face, they are speaking with their pocketbooks. People have not forgotten. And people also, they don't like this style of play. I'm letting you know that right now. They do.
The explanation being floated is straightforward. A portion of the fan base remains unhappy. Frustration over how the organization handled Clark's injury last season has not faded. Dissatisfaction with certain elements of the coaching staff and the team's style of play has been building.
That right now. They do not. I keep saying it. Who are the top 50 players in the WNBA? Caitlin Clark, by way of ESPN, is number 10? Question mark? 10. Wow. Okay. Number 10. Let's just come over here. Let's get a top 50 players heading into 2026.
Those feelings are now being expressed through purchasing decisions rather than words. The empty seats are a visible form of feedback. The ION network broadcast situation was also flagged as a possible factor in overall viewership numbers for recent games.
Let's see if any Asia Wilson. Okay. Alyssa Thomas. Can we stop? Can we stop with this? In what world do you have Alyssa Thomas ahead of Nafisa Collier, ahead of Breonna Stewart? Stop this. This is there any more, let me keep it real. Is there any more overvalued athlete in the WNBA? Serious?
ION is available for free through an antenna or through a range of streaming platforms, but that accessibility does not appear to be widely known, which may be suppressing audiences that would otherwise tune in. Viewership figures for a recent game were considered lower than what the matchup warranted, with some analysts suggesting it should have drawn close to 1 million viewers based on the talent involved. The ESPN list, by most assessments, lacks analytical rigor and reads more as an engagement-driven exercise than a genuine attempt at evaluation.
Really good offensively. Paige, again, I think Paige struggled a bit defensively. Like Caitlin burned her she got burned a couple of times on defense. Kelsey Mitchell was like, it was one of these games where you just watch and it's just funny. And also, lads, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to get to 58,900, or we're trying to get to 59,000 by the start of the season. So we've got a week to get to 59,000. We've got a week to get 200 subscribers. If we could do that, that would be incredible. And also, if we could get...
The top 10 contains names that a serious statistical or performance-based ranking would not place there. While several players with stronger cases, Clark being the clearest example, are pushed down without compelling justification. The Indiana Fever dropped a preseason game to the Dallas Wings in a performance that raised a few questions, though the results themselves carry no real weight at this stage of the calendar. Dallas came out with clear competitive intent, while Indiana appeared unconcerned with the final score, and the gap in urgency showed throughout the contest.
500 likes. There's like 700 people in this live stream, and there might be 500 of you guys watching this video. I'll get 500 likes to be great. But I'm going to go in more depth about whether we should be worried or not about the Indiana Fever from this game. I'm not, I'll say that much. It's preseason. The results don't matter in preseason.
Offensively, Caitlin Clark was sharp. She produced 21 points in 16 minutes and was consistently effective, creating her own shot and drawing contact. On the defensive end, she had a difficult night, frequently getting caught without help and beaten off the dribble, though that description applied to nearly the entire Indiana roster outside of Raven Johnson.
The results don't matter in preseason. There's a couple of process things that I wasn't the biggest fan of this season, or from this game. One of them is that, Caitlin Clark got hit with a land. I liked how she was refed, and you couldn't just grab Caitlin. You couldn't grab Caitlin at all. Did not love that, or loved that. Did not love the fact that she got landing zone fouls.
Paige Buchers had a strong showing for Dallas, logging 20 of the first 23 minutes and looking comfortable operating as the offensive engine. Clark burned her a handful of times on the other end, but Buchers was the most consistent player on the floor overall. Kelsey Mitchell had one of the quieter performances of the day, contributing little on either end outside of 2 back-cut layups that Clark set up perfectly.
She got landing zone fouls, and that's not really what you want to see. Not really in preseason, 2 people diving at her to stop a 30-footer. I got landing zone fouls. I think she'll be fine. I don't think she'll be like she's hurt, but I don't know if she plays on Saturday. I really don't know.
Zia Cook-Jones was a genuine bright spot for Dallas, bringing an aggressive physical edge that felt like a shift from her earlier reputation as a finesse-oriented player. She attacked the paint, finished through contact, and gave the Wings real secondary punch off the bench. Alana Smith spent portions of the game turning the ball over in almost comedic fashion, and Ariki's performances over recent contests have done little to cement her place in the long-term plans.
I don't think there's any long-term issue. Like she literally went over to the bench and said, "I'm fine." She's flexible enough with the ankles, so yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with her, to be honest. That being said, Kelsey Mitchell was hilariously bad for the Wings. The Odyssey was good. Paige played 20 of the first 23 minutes of the game. I got subbed out. AZ.
On the Indiana side, Maisha Hines-Allen was a constant wild card. One possession, she was threading a post entry through multiple defenders to find a shooter in the corner. The next, she was dribbling into traffic and losing the ball entirely. Monique Billings had a rough outing, collecting fouls through late and wild swipes at the ball while also showing soft hands on the boards.
Bad. Really, really bad. Like she was bad. Like she got cooked on defense. She couldn't hit a shot. She looked uncomfortable with the ball in her hands. I'm gonna be real. Like AZ looked really, really bad. Like it was one of the weaker performances I've seen from a rookie in this class. That has played.
KK Timpson, by contrast, looked composed and aware, arguably outperforming Billings as the primary big off the bench. The most alarming individual performance came from Damiris Dantas, who finished 0 of 8 from three-point range and repeatedly vacated help-side defensive responsibilities, allowing open layups at the rim. Her value to this roster rests almost entirely on perimeter shooting, and a night like this, combined with a similar stretch of inefficiency last season, puts her roster spot under legitimate scrutiny.
Class that played 16 minutes. The rest of the team, like Isaiah James was so good. She was so good. I get it, she missed shots. But she was so good. She was so good. Like she was going at people, she was ramming down people. Like I've never seen somebody like go from being like this finesse player. She just literally just bullied.
The travel from Brazil to Indiana involves a minimal time zone shift, so jet lag offers limited cover as an explanation. Sophie Cunningham was largely absent from the game, drawing a foul on a first possession corner 3 but converting just 1 of 3 free throws before fading from relevance. The stretch without Clark on the floor produced one made field goal across 11 possessions, a fast break layup following a Raven Johnson steal that left the finisher completely uncontested.
Literally just bullying people. I'm gotta say I was very impressed with Isaiah James. I think as a bench option should be good. And if I'm being real here, I wouldn't be that opposed to Dallas looking to move on from Enrique. Alana Smith had a comedy game. Like she was just dropping the ball out of bounds. It was hilarious. Her having a greater offensive role is not a good thing in any context. Also, I got to be real here.
It reinforced how thoroughly the offense depends on her presence to generate anything functional. The Indiana shooting numbers bottomed out at one point with the team sitting at 2 of 13 from 3 with non-Clark attempts going 0 of 11. The hope entering the regular season is that Aaliyah Boston's return restructures the front court enough to cover some of the Billings' concerns, shifting her into a more limited and defined role where the weaknesses are less exposed.